imagination, Lisa and Alan dreamed up an unusual robot for their school science fair. After considering many ideas, they decided to build a robot that could talk and move. They would call it the Bio-Vitamin Robot, and it would be an expert on nutrition. Because they didn't know much about robots, they asked several experts what they should do to get started. They spent a lot of time at the library looking at books and magazines on robots, and drew pictures to illustrate their ideas. This helped them learn everything they could about robots before they started building one. The next big step was to build the robot. They collected boxes and other robot-making materials on Saturday, so they could have the robot finished by Wednesday the 15th, the date set for the school science fair. Since the robot was to be as tall as Alan, they stacked up several sizes of boxes to decide which ones they would use. Lisa's father had left them some vent tubing from the new clothes dryer hookup, and they agreed that the tubing would be used as the arms. To start the project just right, Lisa sketched ideas of how she thought the robot should look. She started with the head. Would it be wide, tall, round like a ball, or maybe a paper bag? They needed something round but flat on the bottom so that wires or rods could be inserted to make the head turn. Lisa thought of her mother's wig form. That was flat on the bottom. Alan objected. This robot is going to look like a robot, with an antenna on top. He hastily drew a mesh of wires coming out of a robot's head. Robots can't send or receive messages without an antenna. Lisa drew a large butterfly in place of the wire antenna. How about a butterfly for an antenna, she suggested. I like that better. Alan let out a yell. Butterflies? Butterflies on a robot? Are you crazy? It had happened again. They couldn't agree on how to build their robot. It took a lot of drawings and much discussion before they finally did agree. The antenna could have a butterfly back and a wire mesh front. After that was settled, they began designing the body of the bio-robot. Lisa marked the positions for the vitamin buttons. At first, they thought they could use plastic lids for the buttons. Then Alan thought that on a real robot, the vitamin buttons would light up. Couldn't they use a flashlight somehow? Lisa carefully cut holes in the box they selected for the body. That was it. Alan put the flashlight behind the hole, letting the light shine through. It worked. Lisa brought colored tissue paper to cover the holes. She suggested they have a different color for each vitamin. Alan had to admit that Lisa had good ideas. Why hadn't he thought of colored paper? Now, how would they make the arms move? Long, stiff wire like a coat hanger could be put inside the tubing and pushed up and down from behind the robot. What about hands, Lisa asked. What could they attach to the end of the arm that would hold an orange or a carrot or a piece of bread? Alan picked up an oatmeal carton. How about this? We can cut a hole in the lower end and put in the orange. Alan taped the oatmeal box to the end of the tubing to see how it fit. This idea might work. We'll have to try it out. Lisa had another idea. We can drop food down the arm to the hand. When the robot is asked a question and the light comes on behind the right vitamin, like vitamin C, the arm can reach out with an orange to show where vitamin C comes from. And Alan would add the voice telling the audience that vitamin C is found in fresh fruits and vegetables. Alan thought that all the information for each vitamin or mineral could be recorded and played back from a tape recorder. But what about the vacuum cleaner tube, Lisa asked. She wanted to get a hollow sound through the long tube. Then they wouldn't have to tape it, supposing something went wrong with the recorder. But Alan insisted on taping the sound. He'd worked out something to make the robot answer in a hollow voice whenever a question was asked. Now that the upper part of the robot was designed, Lisa and Alan talked about the legs and feet. Alan suggested they use shoeboxes for feet and legs. Lisa helped Alan attach the legs to the body. Now it was really beginning to look like a robot. Then Lisa's mother called. It was time to take her sister to her piano lesson. Alan couldn't work anymore. He had a soccer game. It wasn't until Monday after school that Lisa and Alan worked on the robot again. They had just 3 days to finish it, and most of the work must be done today. They began by gluing a cardboard circle to the body. This would be the neck. Next, Alan inserted a small mailing tube. By pushing a thin stick through the tube, Lisa could move the head from side to side. Another problem was solved. Then Alan used 2 small red light bulbs for eyes and a small funnel for the mouth. Lisa mounted the butterfly antenna in the top of the head. It was beginning to look like a bio-vitamin robot. Alan suggested they take a break. He was hungry. While they were having a snack, Alan and Lisa never dreamed that Alan's father would be coming home early from work. The garage door came open by remote control, and in he drove. Curious about a strange noise, Alan's father looked under the car and was horrified at what he'd done. He helped Alan gently pull the mashed robot out from under the bumper of the car. Lisa began to cry. What would they do now? They couldn't do it all over again. They didn't have time. But Alan said they had to finish it. They couldn't give up now. Not on the bio-vitamin robot. Besides, only the legs and feet were mashed by the car. The body and head were okay. Alan's father thought they could find substitutes for the legs and feet, and maybe the robot would look even better next time. But Lisa was so upset that she couldn't think of anything looking better than what they had made already. They'd tried so many ideas. Then Alan became discouraged. He didn't feel like working on the robot anymore either. But the next afternoon, when Alan looked at the mashed robot again, he decided they had to try and complete the project. After convincing Lisa to help him try again, they looked over the boxes. Only 2 shoeboxes were usable. And then Lisa remembered some large mailing tubes she had seen earlier. They found that by attaching the tubes and using 2 shoeboxes for feet, the robot could stand upright. After an hour of painting and putting on final touches, the robot was finished. Alan and Lisa carried their masterpiece into the kitchen. "And now, ladies and gentlemen," Alan began, "we have here the first, the original, the greatest bio-vitamin robot in existence. This robot can help you live forever. It knows about vitamins. It can help you do push-ups, turn cartwheels, and show you the right foods to eat." Alan's mother and father looked at each other and grinned. The kids had come through, despite their problems and differences. They'd really made it, and they finished it on time.